timekeeper, let the bell ring for another 2 minutes. Whip. In 3 minutes, the COG chair will be here. That's the message I'm receiving here. But 3 minutes can be 10 minutes, 2 minutes, 10 to 20. Madam, take charge. If there's any reaction for the last group, which was just left pending, we can pick. Hata ni kama wamefika. I want you to take charge. Naona simu napigiwa hapa.
Okay, members ambao wako nje tafadhali. Let us get in and settle. We were done with 4 groups. We are remaining with, I think, 3. So group 5. 5? Okay, so the secretary of the group, kindly come forward. Karibishe mheshimiwa. Members, please let us go outside and welcome mheshimiwa with a dance. Let us wait for them to come back first.
anyirenda mureka mitara na maparo kanyasika anyirenda mureka mitara na matemo kanyasika lumisa bezimu unange kuwebi ama tupelesyo mwea uyo ora muwa izonguta tupelesyo mwea ora muwe chikasi tiziro tupelesyo mwea uyo na uloko wiko nae nawe linde mama wechungere na vanduga usaba yanta wechunge mama welinde na vanaba boda boda aida mwana inyanya mwana mabele mwana indungu yanzo mudara mukato mudara mpango mudara mubwama
kama na amefika weka muziki wacha tukaribishe cheo sio special committee na shangwe na nderemo. Sergeant hiyo kiti kitoe hapo, anakiti hapo. Piga Sergeant tafadhali. Karibu sana bwana gavana. Huyo ni chairman wa Education Committee, Council of Governors. Wapi shangwe na vigelegele? Asante sana. Thank you very much. Thank you. Asante sana. Let's take our seats. Your Excellency, Governor, Kericho County, who is also the chair of the Council of Governors Education Committee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, honorable members, I think we have been waiting for the governor, and I receive a communication that he will be with us in a short while, and he has a tight schedule because I think they have some other meetings at the State House with the national government. But I'm being requested, Governor, that they want a Kikale song. I want to request you to allow them only 3 minutes, and I don't know if you are ready. Yeah, so that we try our legs a bit. You know, we used to enjoy some of our colleagues that, you know, for Kalenjins, if you want to dance, you must know how to do on your mark. And for the people from the lake, if you want to dance, you must know how to do your waist, kanungo. For Kambas, I don't know. For Maasai, you have to know how to jump, like Turkana also. So let's want us to try our legs a bit. Thereafter, I think Chairman will usher in the governor to give his remarks. Then thereafter we'll proceed. Yes. Nataka kuona kama nani huyo anatuongoza? Chairman. Kuja. We, DJ iko nini? Weka muziki. Weka muziki. Na tunafuata vile wanatuonyesha. DJ una supporting. Asante sana. Thank you very much. Kumbe nimeona Mheshimiwa Ochieng hujazoeka. Nimeona wazee wakikatika hapa. Thank you very much. Yeah, without wasting much time, just want to give the chairman, Honorable Ochieng, to do a kind of introductory remark, then invite the governor. Your Excellency, my name is David Ochola. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the Society. And I think it is a miracle because since 2013 up to date, I've been working with the governor from Kericho as the COG Chair on Education. And it's really a privilege that even for the County Early Childhood Bill to pass, it took the intervention of the Senator of Bomet together with the Chair and the Governor of Kericho. So I think there's something unique with Kericho County on education. And as I'm saying so, I can be a witness because as we speak, when I said I wanted to react on the issue of TVET, we even have a vocational training center which we handed over to the government. Kiptere belongs to the Church of Free Pentecost and was funded by the Norwegian government. Also in Kakamega, we have Bukungu Youth Polytechnic for those who are coming from Kakamega. In Busia, we have Nyambare Hills. In Kisii, we have one in Nyamira, which I think I need to refer the member for Nyamira also to be aware of that. We have another one in Mombasa, Mpeketoni, and so on and so on. So as a church, we do well in terms of private actor in TVET. Thank you very much. Wacha tukaribishe chairman because of time to do an introductory remark. Then you welcome the governor. Asante. Tumpigie chairman makofi.
Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Is it morning or afternoon? No, I'm aging. I'm into my 19th year of retirement. I am Honorable James Ochieng from Mobe County. Your Excellency, we started this in 2013. And with the able chairman from Kericho, where are you, my friend? Stand up. This young man is a very able man. So, Your Excellency, when you have this man, I know you are going to make things move in that county. Without much ado, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the governor who is here, we are privileged to have him because he's also the chair of education and vocational training in the Council of Governors. Your Excellency, we want to give you time, give your input, your advice, because when we were opening the other day on 6th, I told these delegates, life is a journey. Let us not be distracted from the objective of your life, of my life. Everybody take their own chance to move with a life up to the end. But before you start, put everything to the Almighty. I humbly take this chance, sir, to welcome you, to give your remarks to these delegates.
Tumeuona mkono wake Bwana. Mengi mazuri tumeyaona, Mungu umetenda, ni kweli wewe muweza. Ulitamka vitu vikawa, neno tunatosha, ukisema umetenda. Uliwavusha, katoa utumwani.
so much. Indeed, delegates and colleagues and friends, I'm at Bali. And it is for this reason that I've joined you today in this special occasion to reflect and look back on the state of what is given to us in the county governments. Chairman and the teams here, the organizers, the organizations, colleagues waheshimiwa who are in the house, and I've seen a very strong team from Kericho County, led by our chair in the Education Committee, Honorable Chiriot Beth, who is also a ranking member in the Assembly, and future something. We are proud in that Assembly that we have a composition of strong men and women who've kept the banner of education and the people of Kericho and contribute to the discourse of how we can model our learning facilities. Chair, I would also want to mention at this point that Kericho County Assembly are privileged to also have a BAD holder in that assembly, and who is a former dean, School of Arts and Social Sciences at the University of Kabiang, and maybe also feature something. My good friend, Honorable Naman Rob, and together with the team that we are here, I can mention, if I see Evelyn, I see Mheshimiwa Philip, I see Mheshimiwa Irene, I see Mheshimiwa Diplo, who is also a member of the Education Committee and also the chair for water, and the many of us that are here. Oh, and of course, you know, the problem with one of our Mheshimiwa is that he's not gifted with a very big body like this one of mine, but he's gifted with the biggest brains in our time, and that is Mheshimiwa Kibet Posuben, who is also the chairman for finance in the Assembly. So you see, Kericho, we have come in a very big way. I know that we have so many other delegates from Kericho and other members. And of course, this is one day I just wanted to reflect and indicate, Chairman, how Kericho is passionate on matters education. And we have the whole Assembly here. In fact, the clerk, Wakili, is here of the Assembly. We have Melka, who is here also. That's a whole team from Kericho. And I know there are so many other Weshimias here from different counties and different assemblies and feel recognized by me because I may not know you by your names, but God knows your name. Be encouraged by the Lord that He knows your name. So, Chairman, I came here, one, because I'm not a governor. Not because I'm a governor, it's not that the governor portion brought me or the chair of Education Working Committee, but because I'm a teacher. So I'm here for the love of the profession and for the love of the child. When Michael Wamalwa in a Geneva conference were asked to say something about a Child Rights Day, he asked the most basic question that I believe we should be asking ourselves every day: how is the child? How is the child? It looks so simple, but it's a very ambiguous statement. How I wish when we wake up in the morning as parents and as teachers, we ask ourselves, how is the child? Because education gives us opportunity to model the child. It gives us opportunity to model the world. It gives us opportunity to model the society. The ECDE teachers who are here today and who are our basic function in the county government and the VTCs, you are given a child who doesn't know how to write her name. You are given a child with no toilet manners. You're given a child that has been thrown into the world unknown, to a path not taken. And yet you, as a teacher, you are supposed to tutor this child. You are supposed to model this child until at the end of the preschool, he or she is able to put words into meaning. He or she is able to make a sentence out of the few words. He or she is able to draw a pictograph and be able to associate with his life. He or she is able to know the environment and know that this is my mom and this is my dad, this is my dad and this is a cow in home, and be able to communicate both in thinking, in thoughts, and in manner. And today, if there is one person who is next to Jesus Christ is the teacher. In all my walking, thinking, and walking at life, the teacher is a co-worker with Jesus Christ. Because for us to be here today, whether you're an accountant, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, we are all products from the great hands of the teacher. And so when I come here, I come because I'm passionate on matters the teacher and matters education. And a strong country is as strong as its education and its system. Each time the foundations of our education is shaken, that the nation is shaken and the future of the nation is shaken. Debates across the world and discourse across the world have always made me to say this, that you can never say as a politician that the greatest legacy I have left behind is an education system. Education system cannot be a political legacy. Rather, it is a one-thought process. In the past, our education system has been left to political and academic conmen. It has been debated by people who are not qualified to present their thoughts on education. And the reason why we had quagmire in CPC, the reason we were stuck in CPC, which I presented to the president, was that this CPC might not have been a good idea, but it was left to academic crooks who has no knowledge about education, but they debate on things they lack knowledge about it. When education is left to politicians, then politicians want to make scorecard out of politics by shouting louder. And we then hear statements that we cannot go back on this. And when we say we can't go back on matters education, it tells us we don't care about the future of our children. What calls in for education is a state of sitting down and having a discourse as government, as stakeholders, as parents, and institutions on how best we can tie the strings together and get education to move forward. The foundation of CPC in its own self and the thoughts of it were correct. The implementation then lacked the correctness required for a system. We are shading a system where we are saying that please, we want you to teach children on CPC. Then we asked, the big question that I asked was, how prepared is the teacher to handle CPC? Me and Dr. Norman Rob, who've been in the university and taught in the university for a while, if you could go and meet today a lecturer in the university and ask in the faculty, what do you know about CPC? The lecturer chairman has no idea what CPC is. And you want this lecturer to train a teacher to come and handle CPC. We lacked from the preparation of human resource. We come to our own schools the capacity to handle CPC. And we ask them, you have asked us that we get these children to grade 6 and grade 7. And my humble submission, which I'm very proud of my president, that he took it seriously, was that we cannot, first of all, mix old boys of 16 years and children of 8 or 10 years in secondary school. It can't work. It is unholy and immoral. These children still need to be with their parents. And that is why when we made a conversation as Council of Governors, we persuaded the working precision party team that let us domicile class grade 7, grade 8, and other grade 9 in primary school to allow these children to stay with their parents. I celebrate the move done yesterday by Pelio Kipsang the other week. Dr. Pelio Kipsang indicated that moving forward, we would want as much as possible to encourage day schools so that there is an interaction between the child and the parent. Because at the end of the day, we cannot escape the co-parenting responsibility given to our children. And most parents, because they are busy looking for money, they throw their children to boarding school so that they run away from the responsibility. And we are saying, oh yes, much as government is making CPC cheap, we must also involve the parent in the learning process of the child and the tutoring of the child, so that we are able to model the child together and bring the child in the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, the education of this nation has evolved. And now we are at the point of making critical decisions. Government has made its position which we agree as Council of Governors, and I'm here on behalf of my chair, Ann Waiguru, and the entire 47 governors. That was the presentation we made at the Council of Governors. That domicile grade 6, grade 7, grade 8, and 9 in primary school to allow the nation to prepare for infrastructure. Because when we had asked our children to join grade 6 or grade 7 in secondary schools, the schools did not have capacity. We tell this children, you want to teach them on digital literacy. The teacher himself or herself lack digital knowledge. So the first thing perhaps is to train the trainer on digital literacy so that we can move forward. And I'm happy that as we move forward today, at least as government and stakeholders, there is a listening ear and a consultation, because we can never quibble with the education of a nation. And that will help us to move forward. And I want to applaud the government for stepping back a little bit and listen to the stakeholders, because the process of education belongs to all of us, and the success of education means the success of our nation. That is not, however, what brought me here today. What brought me here today is a critical discussion on what the Council of Governors and the county governments is mandated to do and how we are doing it. Ladies and gentlemen, as Council of Governors, ECDE and VTCs is domesticated within the works of the county government. The biggest elephant in the room today is the schemes of service for both ECD teachers and the VTC trainers. I want to inform these delegates today that the Council of Governors developed, and already there was an SRC guidelines on the schemes of service for the ECD teacher, which was adopted by a summit, and a number of counties has implemented the same. A case in point is Kirinyaga, and so many other counties that have made attempt to actualize it. As the chairman last week, I impressed upon colleague governors that in as much as we are crying about the budget, but it's about time that we give dignity to the ECD teaching profession. It is time that we cannot say that we have the money to confirm the nurses and the doctors, and we say at the same hand, we don't have money to confirm the ECD teacher. It can't work like that. So what we have done as Council of Governors is that we have agreed in unity that in the supplementary budgets across the counties, we try as much as possible to capture, for those counties that have not embraced it, the kitty to confirm the teachers on permanent and pensionable basis. I'm happy, together with my chairman for education, so you had bet. In Kericho, we already have a budget in the supplementary, which the Assembly is passing it, I think, by sometimes next week. And by January in Kericho County, we are going to confirm all our ECD teachers on permanent and pensionable terms. And thank you so much, Chairman and our committee, for taking that direction. We have encouraged other counties as a chairman in the council to adopt the same, so that we have these teachers working in a good environment. The challenge we have in our ECD classrooms today, again, is the human resource and capacity building among the human resource. Chairman, you remember that ECDE has come a long way. And the county government has made tremendous progress. When devolutions happened in 2013, before then there were no structured classrooms. Children were learning in the shade. If you belong to my school that I belong to, for you to qualify to class 1, you are asked, can you put your hand like this? If it happens that it can touch your ear, you are a candidate of class 1. And by then, children were learning under the shade, or the church provides space for learning. Today, I'm happy for the tremendous work that has been done by devolve units. We have ECDE centers spread across the 47 counties. And children are no longer learning in the shade. They have structured classrooms that they can enter and they can learn. Oh yes, we may not have achieved 100% capacity, but devolution is a work in progress. At least children are not learning on the trees anymore. At least children have a space to learn in the villages. And what we are saying, as we have made this tremendous progress in devolve units, the biggest challenge now is the teacher capacity. I know that we have employed at least one teacher in most of our ECDE classroom facilities. We have agreed as council that going forward we need to make at least 2 teachers to teach in an ECDE center. So that when one is not feeling well, at least we have one person who can take over. And children are not left unmanned. It is what we have agreed as council to continue working and setting aside funds to enable us employ more teachers. As we do so, Chairman, the biggest thing that we must also do and think in this century is in servicing capacity for the teachers. We need to regularly take our ECDE teachers for in-service, to be able to update them on the trends and the fluidity of education, so that they are averse with the emerging trends of our time. It is the responsibility of county governments to prepare for in-service programs for our teachers. I'm very happy today in the council that as the chairman, we have been able to establish linkages with great number of partners that are willing to support counties in providing in-services trainers for our ECDE teachers. And moving from next year, we already have in a working retreat at Mombasa, we've been able to attract close to 10 partners to work with counties to provide in-service programs. One of them is MasterCard Foundation, which is based in Canadian. We have the EDU, which is a German-based organization, and so many other organizations that are coming forward, including UNICEF, to assist the child. And we are saying that as counties, we are prepared to take the teacher to another level. And we are saying that we don't want the teacher to meet this cost. It is the county government to meet the cost. Because if your pay slip is 15,000 shillings, and we ask you to pay again for your training, then we may not go to heaven as governors ourselves. Because we will continue molesting and harass that small pay slip of yours. So that is what we are doing in terms of human resource. Secondly, we have agreed again as governors that not again are our ECDE teachers being to be paid like casuals, where somebody think when to pay you money and when not to pay you. We want all our ECDE teachers to be under the IDPP program, so that it is captured in the system. And at the end of the month, you are paid your money with your payslip. Your payslip will help you go for a loan. Your payslip will help you do something else. When we pay you minus a payslip, it means that you cannot secure a facility to progress. And we are determined as Council of Governors to give dignity to the teaching profession. It is one of the things that we are doing as we move forward. Again, ladies and gentlemen, as we do this, we realize that most of our structures that we have built lack learning facilities and resources. One of them are the desks, the office for the ECDE teacher, and we have moved forward to ensure that in the next programs we are doing is to build capacity within the centers that we have. One of them is to ensure that we have an office for the ECDE teacher. Because the debate that has been, Dr. Norman, is that we have the primary school here, which is run by the national government. We have a headmaster employed by the TSC. And the headmaster says, I'm not responsible for the ECDE teacher because TSC is not the one who employs. In case of discipline, in case of harassment, this teacher has nowhere to run to. And that means we need to work for the officers within the ECDE center, even as we equip the chairs and other facilities there, and also employ quality ward coordinators to assist these teachers. What we lack, Chairman Cheriot, in most of our counties is the quality assurance system to ensure learning takes place in school. And so what we have agreed is to employ ward supervisors, sub-county supervisors, and county supervisors to assist us work on quality for both ECDE and the VTCs that we have in our counties. It is a step that we are taking so that we are able to be accountable for our teachers and be able to help them have a good working environment. It's that we've taken that very seriously, and I know we will achieve that. At the same time, we look at the state of the child in the classroom. We know that private facilities offers competitive learning environment. And what we have proposed as council and we have adopted is to provide feeding programs for our children in school, so that a child in that preschool is able to get some porridge or some milk and be able to create a good learning environment for them, which includes even a playground for this child. And this child will have an opportunity to be in class, come out and perform some little swing, and go home happy and encouraged to come back to school again. And this child then will be given the same opportunity like the one in the private academy. It is some of the things that we have taken up as council, and you are working so seriously to make sure that we achieve that. We have the question of training institutions. The CECM has been the lead trainer, and we have other institutions that have actively played their role. Harmonization of training processes and curriculum is what is still lacking within the training of our ECDE teachers. We would want them to have a uniform training curriculum so that we are able to know, Chairman, Kenyans are very creative people. At some point of time, they realize there is demand for ECDE teachers. So some crooks goes and open a school somewhere there in the river and say we are offering training for ECDE teachers. At the end of the day, you ask what is the quality? Do we have proper qualified trainers to train in these institutions? Do we have proper facilities for training? So that again, we don't take advantage of gullible people who want to get knowledge on ECDE. Because remember, we are preparing people to come and handle children. And the success of that is the quality of the training centers and a working curriculum. So it's something we have taken up with the ministry so that we have a uniform curriculum that guides us, and also regulations of the training institutions. Because we must also regulate, so that at the end of the day, we have only those that have been vetted and be found fit to offer training for our ECDE teachers. It is a debate that is on, and I think we are almost agreeing on a unified way of going about it, so that at the end of the day, we're able to provide quality training system for the teachers. Lastly, on ECDE, because I'll talk about VTCs briefly also, is that as we work on all these things, we continue to encourage ourselves as a nation that the success is the foundation, and the foundation is the ECDE. And those ECDE teachers are the biggest assets we have in our education system. And we challenge ourselves every day that we must handle them very well. I know, Chairman, that there's been discrepancy in payment. You cannot pay a degree teacher the same salary with a diploma and a certificate. Then we mock education. Somebody was trying to give a suggestion somewhere that let us also encourage these teachers to go to school because we do not have money to pay them. And I rose and say, I've met stupid people, but you are the most stupid one I've ever come across. You can never deny the quest for knowledge. I began as a secondary school teacher, did my master's, and Dr. Norman was among those who marked my thesis very well, and moved on to do my BAD. Then went to teach in the university, rose to become a dean, then now I'm the governor. God is a limitless God. You will not tell us you want to punish a teacher because if you go for degree, you'll pay more. No, we must keep space for growth in all our disciplines. And even I've encouraged my colleagues, Council of Governors, that as they set aside money for doctors to go for further training, set also money for ECDE teachers to go for further training. You cannot tell us you've sponsored a nurse, you've sponsored a doctor to go to Russia to train. And then you look at the money they are consuming, cannot be compared to what the teacher can consume. Very little. So we are saying we must give room for growth to our teachers. We must harmonize the payment process so that we pay as per the quality of the certificate. If you have a certificate, you get your money. If you have a diploma, you got your money. If you have a degree, you got your money. We have also moved and agreed as council that the ward coordinator supervisors and the sub-county supervisors and the county supervisors should be aligned to ECDE trained degree holders. It doesn't make sense to go and bring a university lecturer, for example, to come and be director of education in the county. He doesn't know what FTC is. He doesn't know what ECDE is. And yet what has been given to us in the county is ECDE and what? So these guys can work well in the national government, but allow us to employ the ECDE trained professionals to manage their things there, and those who are in the FTCs to manage those sections. And this will help us to move as a county. So I want to say there's good news for all our ECDE teachers across the country. We have reached a point now where, as Council of Governors, we've agreed to professionalize the force and make the systems work for ICT teachers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, as I conclude, the FTCs occupies a crucial place for empowerment. The easiest center of empowerment, the easiest discourse we can have to move our nation is an empowerment of defense and the FTCs. And before I talk about that, one thing I forgot about the ECDE is that we have written to national government, Chairman, and I wrote a letter to ring fence 5 billion to help us meet the needs and deficit in payment of ICT teachers. See, devolution devolved education in the ECDE, but they didn't devolve money. So I've written to them and say, devolve the money. If you want peace, devolve the money. Devolve the money. Devolve the money so that we can have a very good discourse. And I'm happy the president has listened, and we're having a summit around 1st of February, where we'll have money from the treasury, ring-fenced, conditional grant for the ECDE teachers. And that will lift the burden from county governments. Because again, when colleagues like from Elgeyo, is there anyone from Elgeyo Marakwet here? You know, when colleagues from Elgeyo Marakwet share their problems, again, the county receive a whole budget of 3 billion. The entire of Elgeyo Marakwet County. So when you look into payment and you ask him to implement the schemes of service, then the governor says, I'll not do any other thing because of that. So we say to assist these ASAL counties, then we must help them to have a ring-fence conditional grant to meet the ECDE teachers. It's something I'm pursuing, and for those who know me, I don't stop until we have it, and we are going to have it. We are also supporting those other counties, ASAL counties, who have questions of drought and famine and wars, to ensure that the child is in school. And we've asked colleague governors to work with the church and partner with organizations so that movement from one place to the other one does not affect the education system and have the children to be in school and get quality education. So on FTCs, I was indicating that for this nation to realize the Vision 2030, we can never realize that Vision 2030 if we build capacities on the FTCs and the defense. The future of this nation is on innovation, industrialization, and technology. FTCs, which is given to us as counties, provide the biggest opportunity to turn around the life of the 30% goes to university. 70%, according to World Bank report, do not proceed to the university. Some drop from class 8, some dropped at Form 2, and some dropped at Form 3. This is a healthy population which needs to be tapped on their skill and resources. The nation, and I want to thank the president, is a brainchild of the TVET institutions that we have today in this nation when he was the Minister of Education those days and higher education. And I hold the view that the county government of the FTCs, what we need to do is to align our responsibility national government. The biggest challenge we have is that we have a VTC here, and then we have a TVET 500 meters away from the VTC, offering the same courses. I don't know if you know this. So you have a TVET here, then 500 meters from this TVET is a VTC run by the county government, offering plumbing, electrical engineering, tailoring, blah, 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 joinery and masonry. And then we have again the same one in TVET here, just 500 meters away. And all these are competing for the same niche of students. What we have agreed to the national government is that we need to realign the courses we offer, so that we say TVET is offering these courses, VTCs are left to offer these courses. That will help us to be more pragmatic and more objective in the courses that we offer. I have proposed that TVET should offer a maximum of 5 courses. And the courses we offer must be market driven. In Canada, for example, the TVETs keep revising their courses as per the demands of the market, so that we don't end up training children that has nowhere to go. And you see, VTCs and TVETs are supposed to respond to the immediate moments, the events of the moment. And when we say we are training this child in supplies management, for example, and the university is training the same child in supplies management and logistics, what sense does it make? We must then have a VTC and TVETs training skill-based oriented courses. My suggestion was then leave to the counties to train plumbers, because we know we can link them with contractors in the market. Leave the counties to train on catering, for example, and hospitality, because we know we can give them a county revolving fund and they can initiate their businesses. Leave the counties to offer courses, quick courses on mechanical engineering, because we know we can take them somewhere in town and give them a space and they're able to work on the vehicles and repair them there. And so what we are saying is that we want to align our courses to be market driven and to respond on the immediate. It is better for the VTC to offer even if it is 3 courses, but courses that can help the child to grow and handle demands of the moment. This is a conversation we are having, and we are partnering closely with the national government to align our courses. Secondly, is that with the VTCs that we have, and across the county, we lack personnel. When we want to train these children, we have opened great number of VTC centers sporadically, but we never thought about the personnel to handle these centers. So we have centers with no center managers. We have children on carpentry who are in studying, and we have no one to train them. What has done is that we have, ended up having children with no quality education in the respecting VTCs that they have. And we are saying we want to match up our VTCs to be center of excellence, so that if this VTC is known to be offering carpentry, masonry, and plumbing, we get the best trainers of those areas to go to those VTCs. Then we have this other VTC aligned to do something else. This will help us to change the perceptions of the VTCs. Because why TVETs are attracting so many students is because they have aligned themselves. But for the VTCs, it is still considered a village polytechnic, and therefore do not attract students. But when we build capacity, create center of excellence, provide a good workshop environment, it can help us to move forward. Thirdly, Chairman and delegates here, we want to move VTCs from that theoretical learning into incubation centers. Already from my county, I have partnered with ECDE. And we've agreed, and we are going to have an MOU soon with ECDE, which will allow us from our VTCs to turn them into incubation center. If we train this child on catering, we expect this child at the end of training to be able to manufacture and create yogurt, for example. Then what we are asking then is to put machines for the same so that we get the youths from our villages, train them on preparation of yogurt and cheeses. Then once we have trained them, we keep them some little amount, they move to those centers and, prepare yogurt in the morning, hawk the yogurt in the afternoon. Prepare fruit juices in the morning, hawk the fruit juices in the morning. That is the intention of FTCs and defects. Knowledge driven, so that at the end of the day, the skills are there and they're able to turn them into a productive economy. When we train plumbers and we just leave them, they ask us a question, you have trained us as plumbers, and so what? In this country, and Dr. Norma knows this, when we come as deans, and I used to feel ashamed of this, I'm graduating 800 students, and you call their names until you don't know how to say Ocheng, Bernard, Kiroi, you ask yourself at the end of the questions, where are these guys going to? This university is doing, and everyone is doing it, and where are they going to? And that's why I'm saying these defects and FTCs, if we handle very well, it can turn around the economy of our counties, and it can turn around the economy of our nations. Incubation centers is the way to go. Lastly, are the workshops. It breaks my heart that we have built FTCs, which are supposed to be practical training. We don't have the workshops. So how to train a carpenter? Do you come and say, this is the meter joint? Class, say meter joint. This is a rivet, say rivet. These are practical go. Mungwana, when he was in school, when the teacher asked him, say he was saying And now we are trying to get him alive by what he can use the hand, isn't it? So what we are saying is that we need to get more money in our budget allocation, and as Kericho County government will continue, and I know other colleagues are doing the same, to put more money to education. So that helps us to build workshops and incubation centers to help our learners to be able to get the skills that are required. Lastly, is the schemes of service. As it is, across all the counties 47, we don't have schemes of service for the FTCs. The good news is, last week, I came out and created a committee of 6, and I'll commit them early January to the Sakacha-led based labor in the department, in Council of Governors. And one of the assignments they are going to do is to come up with a schemes of service for the FTCs that will guide us across the country for 7 counties. So the good news for the FTCs is that Dr. Mutai is here. We have initiated the program. And by February or March next year, we are going to have an harmonized schemes of service for the FTCs across the counties. And we'll call upon then the governors to allocate money so that, we have not had a proper schemes of service. You don't know what to pay. One county pay you 10,000, another one pay 20, another one pay 30. So you meet your colleague from this other county, and he tells you, I'm earning 20. You from this county, you're earning 7. You meet another one saying, I'm earning 3. So we must harmonize across our counties. And you're working on this progress so that our FTCs are well manned and become productive enough to meet the Vision 2030 that we require for this nation. Sometimes your wife can even run away with your spouse, assuming that your wife is working in the neighboring county in the same FTC, and she's earning 50,000. I love where you're working in this other FTC, and you're earning 7,000. You see a man is we're going to bango ya kando bana. This one, so for me, I even look at these things that can create conflicts within families. But how will you explain that I'm earning this, you're working for county governments together, but this is what I'm earning and this is what the other one is at? So sometimes we even frustrate homes. That's why we are saying we are coming up with a FTC harmonized schemes of service to handle matters, schemes of service for our FTC trainers. Ladies and gentlemen, if we are able to take this to another level, Kenya will not be the same again. We're reaching out to other nations I mentioned the Scandinavian nations. Them, they have aging populations. And they need skills from Africa for these other carpentry, plumbing, and others. And they pay these skills so well, but their population is aging. As governors and council, we are signing MOUs with them, but not to Saudi Arabia. I think I must be very categorical there. So that those that we have trained in our counties, we are able to export them to the labor market outside in European nations, and they're able to make a life there. We train, we get the market for them. In Kericho County, and I sincerely want to thank the team that is here, one of the things that we have done and we are planning to do is that we are giving out 3,000 scholarships across Kericho County. You know, we have 30 wards in Kericho, and you are picking 100 children in every ward, led by the MCAs and the ward administrators, to give them scholarship to study vocational courses. So some will study plumbing, some will study this and this, some will study saloon, and we are grouping them. We have mapped out the 50C we have and decide that this bunch will go here, these ones will go here, this one will go here. And they will benefit on a free scholarship from the county government of Kericho. Can I tell you one surprising thing? We are not supposed to give out bursaries for some of the schools or universities. It's an illegality. What we are supposed to be doing is ECDE and 50C. That's the law. So our mainstream is what? And you know, the constitution experts knew very well that if we allow county governments to work with the 50Cs, it is an impact growth of economy in the rural areas. Because when you give more money to 50Cs, give more attention to these scholarships, what will happen is that the rural economy will improve instantly, because the 70% that do not proceed to the university, we have tapped them on their skills and we have made them to be self-employed. And that was the vision of the constitution. And so in Kericho, and I'm happy that our Waheshimiwas in the Assembly have, we've all agreed that now we are doing things differently. And we are going to model, so that by end of next year, Chairman will invite you, when we are graduating 3,000 strong students, that we have equipped them. And as we graduate them, we are also partnering with Trade Department, because we are also doing what we call a county revolving fund. And Mheshimiwa Cheriabet here is amending the bill, so that once we graduate this one as a saloonist, the county revolving fund is waiting for her. You get 100,000, we give you 3 months grace period, you go and open your saloon, you begin to pay for the county government. If you are a plumber, you get this money, you go open your small shop for plumbing, you hustle, and then you begin to make pay. You see, it is one way that we can help our people in the rural areas. Our work as leadership is to change the lives of people. It is a calling that we have taken seriously. That the mandate we have is to change people's life. And we must lead and demonstrate by example that life can change if leadership is responsible. And we have chosen the path of responsible leadership. And this is what we will be doing. We'll continue to support the teacher. We'll continue to support the education system. We'll continue to fight for a good education system. Because once we have a good education system in this country, it means that we will move forward and create a more productive nation. Lastly, is that we've also challenged the president and the team, the working team in government, that we must also increase capitation to our universities. Universities ideally are supposed to be center of research. And Dr. Norman will tell you that of all the papers we publish in the university as dons, none of them is paid by the government. It is the lecturer that dips his pocket to publish any paper. In South Africa, for example, in Germany, for example, it is the government that invests in the mind of the experts. So that we fund you, for example, if you are in school of business, to create a working policy for government to guide government. And government has to put money to the universities. And there is no excuse of that. We cannot meet Vision 2030 if we can't put money in education system. And we are saying that capitation in the universities has to be increased to meet the demands of the moment. and to provide a good opportunity for the lecturers and the donors to be able to do competitive research that can help government in guiding us. Our shock chairman during COVID-19, there was no brilliant article which was coming from Kenya on an attempt to get medicine for COVID-19 for a very long time. Other nations had already ring-fenced money to allow academias to research on a vaccine for COVID-19. In Kenya, we are looking around, vaccine imepatikana wapi? And the money we are going to use to buy this vaccine is huge. It could be cheaper to invest in the brains that we have and get our things in a cheaper way. Because Kenya is full of talent. Kenya is full of brains. Africa is full of brains. And Africa can rise if we handle education well. But Africa will fall if we mess up with our education system. We will continue crying to the West forever. And then we change how we think about our education system. And once we have thought the critical nature of education and put money in education, then Africa will rise. Because indeed, education is the equalizer. And education have a chance to change nations and change homes. It is a path that we have chosen to take, and we'll continue to walk that path. With those few remarks, I want to wish you the very best. And even as you're going, I think you're closing the session today, I want to wish you well as we work on our paths and as we do our things. And looking forward to attending again this summit when the next opportunity offers itself. God bless you so much, and so much love from the Council of Governors, from our chair, Anne Waiguru, and all the 47 governors. They have asked me to say jambo to you. Asanteni sana, and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give a vote of thanks or give anything towards His Excellency, he has allowed me to ask if there's anybody with any comment or question. The floor is open. If you have anything that you might ask him for any explanation. Yes, one or two.
His Excellency the Governor, allow me on behalf of the early childhood teachers in Kenya to appreciate you for the good work you are doing. We are hopeful, and we are praying that it comes to pass very soon, because we've suffered for very long. I'm also glad that you've given ECDE a priority together with TVET in your committee, and together with this union, we are going far. Thank you very much, and God bless you.
Your Excellency, I taught this one when I was a principal of a teacher's college. So you can see my contribution. Anybody else, please? Yes, Mommy? That is from CIA.
Yeah, I'm Doreen Obare from CIA. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I'm now very much happy to hear what you have talked about. I'm an ECD teacher, and I'm praying and also urging you to pray for us very much in CIA, so that we can be employed in P&P and schemes of service. Thank you very much, but let us entertain you before you leave. I know you are very busy, but allow us 5 minutes.
Another one? Yes. From the back there, then you'll be the next one. The back, please. That is from
Machakos County.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the work that you do. And we totally believe in the vision and the Education Committee from Machakos County. We do want to we're looking forward to come and benchmark in Kericho County. Thank you so much.
Next, yes.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
You continue. He'll come after you. She will come after you, please.
Okay. Thank you, Your Excellency. I'm Abdi Mohammed from Wajir, and I would like to say we are always happy with the Kericho goal that comes from your area, as Somali tea takers. And we thank you for the good work you're doing currently, And I would like to request from your able chairmanship as the Education Committee Chair for the COG that you also take into consideration the education matters in Northern Kenya. Thank you.
Yes, Madam here. Yes.
Thank you so much, our Honorable. I'm an ECDE teacher from Nairobi County. My name is Baridi, and my concern was about employment of the ECDE teachers, as in the age. Look at the age of the teachers. As I talk here, I'm not being employed, and the age is running. Very soon they'll say that they are going to employ from 45 years and below. And I'm almost approaching that. I've tried to apply to the county level. Sometimes I'm asked to give out money to be employed. I'm very little, like 10,000. And the people who want to employ me, they are asking for 200,000. I really don't understand how I will be helped. It's like I went to college in vain. I will never enjoy the government facility. And the age is already approaching. I need an help. That's why the Lord allowed me to come here to share with you. If I can only get the job through the county government, I will really appreciate. I will not care where I will get the job, whether it's in Kericho. We are the government people and we are working for our entire government. I will work. I'm ready for work. Like I said, I am a ECDE teacher, and also I nurture the talent of the young children. I have gone up to the national level, even in the national state concert, and I've reached in that level, but nobody considers us and nobody even applauds what we do to the community of Kenya. I really humble and really request, if you leave this place, may my eyes open next year. At least I also enjoy the government facilities. I also build my house. I also educate my children, because the little we get in the private school is a peanut. I can't even manage to teach my children in secondary. I have 2 children. I get 15,000. Tell me, how am I going to do this? This is a kind request from the innermost of my heart. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much for coming.
Honorable Sharon. Homa Bay. Then Nyamira will be next, and then Kilifi. When I tell you here, I know my people.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. His Excellency, I'm happy. Today is my happiest day. I wish all governors could talk the way you are talking. And I wish all this you have told us here, you implement them. Okay, to the point, Homa Bay County, all our ECDE teachers are on permanent. And next month, they are all going to pay their arrears for those years they have worked and months. 2, let's at least have 2 teachers per unit, per center. Why am I saying this? A good number of ECDE teachers are female, and they are in the age of production age. They will go for maternity leave. These children are going to suffer for 60 days. So if there are 2, as you have said, one can take care of these children. So I'm just appealing that you people at the national level, at the governing council level, please make it a priority, they be 2. Lastly, what Madam have just said, let's go the TSC way, the year of graduation, merit. Here, or like, okay, well, what she has said is happening in Homa Bay. Let us just be open. You have to produce something, 250,000. A widow, you have sold all the land the husband left. Get this child. And the child, for him or her to get employment, 250,000. So once there's merit, sir, I believe these ECDE teachers get employment. Others, thank you. But if you get time, come to Homa Bay. And these are our ECDE teachers here. They're just sympathizing with them as a Mheshimiwa, even for their transport back home. Ukiona kitu mzuri pia wapatie asante.
Nyamira chair there, and then Kilifi. Oh, Robert.
Thank you, Chairman. Your Excellency Governor. I think today I've enjoyed your speech. I've been hearing of you, and I have had the opportunity to see you and hear you talk. I'm Mheshimiwa Benecha Vincent of Nyamira County, Chairman of the Education Committee in the County Assembly. Before I remark on your speech, I want you to take up this particular case. She has just appealed to you. I know you have the power. The law allows you to employ 30% from even other counties. Please, you have the power. Just take her as a gift to this conference. As a gift to us all, we have given you this lady. She has just cried and given you individual feelings. As a human being, I could have felt the same. Thank you, Your Excellency, too. I think this is the way to go. You are an educationist. You have been given the docket of education, and you speak like an educationist. Please bring sanity to all counties. Most of our governors, some are not educationists, some don't value what you said. But when you are in that council, please bring sanity and make sure education changes. You've come in at the time there is a transition of education in the whole nation. Here is CPC, here is the other day, there is our minister who announced that there is no boarding schools, and you mentioned it. Please, this kind of transition may bring confusion in the system. Please, as an educationist, one who has worked in education, Your Excellency, and you have been given the docket, make sure it is well streamlined. 3, I want to appeal to honorable members of county assemblies in the House that at least make sure in the committees of education in the county assemblies put somebody with an educational background in the committee of education, not just anybody. I'm also an educationist. I lecture in the University of Kisii in the Faculty of Education and Foundations. Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
My brother from Kilifi, and then Jorwe from Kericho.
Thank you very much, Chair. His Excellency, the Governor, my concern is on your speech. You put it very clear that the money we are having for bursary, it's supposed to be for ECDE and the VTC. And His Excellency Governor, you'll agree with me, it's not pragmatic for me today to go to the field there and say from today I'm not going to give bursary to secondary and university students. That is like I'm committing a suicide, political suicide, and you might not see me here next time. So we find ourselves in a quagmire, in a very bad situation. But this is the fact. The money is supposed to go to the ECD and let everybody carry his burden. But how do we go about this? How do we go about this? Thank you.
Yes, Mami, Len Oweri, you will come after. You will be next, and Honorable Bet will be last, if that is anything to go by. Give to Madam behind there.
Okay, thank you so much. I would like to ask on behalf of the teachers. We have talked with so many of them. Those who were employed during the first time of the governors, that is back in 2015, at the first they were employed under contract. Okay, and there is a clause in the government that says that once you are at a contract, you have to enjoy the gratuity. Then when the others came in after the end of the first governors who were there, or some were continuing, you find that the ECD teachers, after they were confirmed as PNP, in so many counties, they were never given their gratuity. So, as you go back to their other governors, kindly, can you ask on behalf of them, I'm also a victim of the same. Then there is an issue about the professionalism. You understand that a director in the county is under PNP. Then you find that the director who is given that docket of the ECD is totally somebody who does not know, who is not in the line of the. Can you really go and make a change? We need professionals on the line of the ECD. Like now you can, okay, in our area you find that the deputy director is not somebody who is in there, but was just awarded because of the royalist. So can we, as much as we want to award this royalist, can we be looking at the professionals? Thank you.
Yes, ready.
Thank you, Honorable Your Excellency. I want to talk about the union. We have a number of unions in the Republic of Kenya. We have Kunopet in the bottom of the pyramid. We have NAT for primary. We have Kupet for post-primary. We have WAZO for lecturers. Now, Kunopet is for the deployed unit, that is the county government employees, that is the ECD. Can you please write a recognition agreement with Kunopet so that going forward, it will be a stakeholder in decision making on matters of the ECD, and move away from calling NAT in your decision, involving NAT in decision making. Now, promotion also for teachers who are graduate, you find out that most of the graduates are high school teachers, and the P1 teachers take the roles of the ECD in the devolve units, that is the county government. Yet the scope of employment for these ECD teachers are only that ECD department, and promotion should be prioritized for graduates going forward. Now, another issue is, as you confirm teachers, consider also the age who are over 45, but when they were subjected to endless contracts from 2014, can you please backdate to 2014, but don't backdate the money? I think I'm bringing some point. Confirm them to permanent and pensionable because they were within the age bracket in the year 2014 or 2015 when they were employed. Otherwise, as a Kenya Kwanza government, they believe in bottom-up economy. Start from the ECD, which is in the bottom, and then you move upward. Trajectory. Thank you.
Honorable Chair, there is Mr. Molo, Honorable Molo.
As I pass the microphone, please, teachers, don't crucify me. Kunopet, are you there? Just wait, yeah? Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, I'm Ruben Mono from Homa Bay County Assembly, and I'm the Chair of Education. It is my first time to be in that assembly, and I want to say I'm very proud of you. The speech you have given, I would say, is compendious, and I would say it has combined all that we have been doing since we came here in 40 minutes. Thank you so much. Two, Madam Chair, I want to say we are really praying for you so that COG implements all that has been said here. If that happens, then we shall be sure of an active and successful ECDE centers. Two, we shall also be sure of our TVETs, and we shall therefore be sure of the development of our economy. Our economy is going down because of the way we implement our policies. But with what I have heard from you today, I am sure all that will happen. However, I wish to say that in Homa Bay, in this new regime, we have not begun employing. So we shall begin after completion of staff audit. If there was anything or anybody asking for chai, then it must have been in the previous government. But I wish to say that we shall not tolerate that if we hear of it as a County Assembly of Homa Bay. We wish you all well. May the good Lord bless you in your work.
I want to plead with you, ladies and gentlemen, that I give this chairman, Turkana. Arabet, ngoja tu kidogo. Yes, give her. And then the Turkana, you'll be second last. Please.
Asante, Chairman. Your Excellency. Tukiwa kaunti zetu, ninaona hii idara ya elimu kama imechanganyishwa vitu nyingi pamoja. Kwa mfano, education, gender, culture and children under one CEC. Alafu ile pesa inagawiwa hiyo department inaenda kwa gender, inaenda kwa disability, inaenda kwa people live, culture. Sasa ule anabaki nayo ile pesa kidogo education. He cannot manage to build the polytechnics, the TVETs. So that money is ni kama inamwagwa haiwezi toshea kitu ile inaonekana. So when you sit with the other governors, especially from our areas, please just advise them, because you are a teacher and you understand all this, that education is a big department. It handles youth which leave the secondary schools every year. Others live in class 8 and they are nowhere, but they should be placed in the TVET. So this person, gender and this one should be another department, the way the national government has put it. But they don't put it that way because they are not educationists and they don't understand this. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable from Turkana.
Your Excellency, my name is Honorable Anaklet Lemuya from Turkana County. First, I would want to appreciate you for the remarks you've made. Indeed, it's been quite informative and eye-opening. I really appreciate, and I also want to appreciate the comments and questions from my colleagues. Now, mine is just a proposal because given your standing or your position in the Council of Governors as the Chair of Education Committee, I think it would be more important and profitable if you can work with the chairs, education committees in the entire 47 counties, because I've realized that at the Council of Governors you've really had very quality deliberations, considering all that you've been able to share with us here, and it will be prudent going forward that you be sharing with us those deliberations at the Council of Governors, Council of Governors, and maybe if we can craft a working relationship between you and us, the chairs, it will be very good, so that at some point you can even convene a forum where we can have these discussions and share information. Yeah, that's my proposal, and I think it will be very good to work with you, Your Excellency.
Then the last one, Honorable Bet, take the mic, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Let me take this opportunity to welcome my governor. And I want to confirm to the delegates that at least for the first time, we picked a governor, a man for the job, because previously, you know, I have been the chairman for education since the inception of the county government in my county. But we had a lot of issues with the governor that went home, Professor Kipkoech. You know, we discussed things here, but when we reach there in Kericho, he goes and does other things. So I just want to confirm to these delegates that at least we have a governor for that job. And now that you are the chair for the Council of Governors, I mean, the Department of Education, I know we are going to do much. Maybe my request is that if you can have a standardized way of recruiting the ECDE teachers. I remember in 2014, there was a court case. We were battling with the Teacher Service Commission on who is supposed to employ the ECD teachers. And the court made a determination that the employment of the ECD teachers is domiciled in the county government. But the county government must, however, follow the guidelines of the Teacher Service Commission. So if you have a standardized ways of employment, I think we will not have a problem where an ECD teacher in a county is demanded to give 250,000 before he gets employment. I think if you have that standardized way you develop under the Council of Governors, I know our teachers are going to get justice while they seek employment. Secondly, I just want to also a rejoinder from what my co-chair said, that if we can get a summit between the Council of Governors and the Committee on Education on a yearly basis, so that when we have a governor that does not, maybe some governors may not want to work very well with the Committee on Education, now that you'll be there as the chair, and we have those governors here, we will have a candid discussion from every county with their governor. So if we can get maybe in every year when we have our summit or you have your Council of Governors, at least we have a discussion as Committee on Education, not necessarily even the chair persons, but the entire committees on education together with our governors. I know we are going to make very many strides. Otherwise, I also want to commend you. We are employing, the governor is employing the ward supervisors, and he gave a directive that those that are supposed to be given priority are those that did ECD. So that is what is going on. A primary school teacher who wants to apply apatili nafasi kwa sababu that is the added advantage. So I think we are moving towards the right direction. And of course, as the chair, I want to confirm that we are going to support your government, your policies, especially in terms of education. And I know that our counties are going to get more and more development, especially in education, when you are the chair for education. So liars with this our team, because I think this is one of the society that passionately deals with education under the county assemblies. And also when we have meetings, I'm happy because the outgoing CEO, your outgoing CEO was here yesterday. So we also encourage other governors that when we have such meetings, you send to us the CECs and the CEOs, so that when you are not there, at least we have your people here. I think that will be a game changer also. Thank you very much, and tuchape kazi pamoja. Asante chairman.
Powers given to me by this summit, I want to give the last chance to my friend from Kericho.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Your Excellency, Governor from Kericho County, I've just stood to appreciate the work that has went on in this place since the beginning of the session. Today you have made it one with your speech, and we've received encouragement as teachers. I want to appreciate the team from Kericho, led by Honorable Cheriot Pet, for the good work that you are doing. Thank you so much, because you came in number and you have represented Kericho very well. I'm happy Cheriot Pet, during the other time, fought as Kericho teachers. We wrote a petition, and Cheriot Pet was able to help us until we were able to be given something on top of the salary we used to have. I want to say you are doing a very good work, and we want to believe that the Governor, Dr. Erick Mutai, is able to help the teachers. The teachers are now smiling. Your Excellency, teachers who are here are teachers who have traveled from far and wide this country, and we want these teachers every other time to be involved in any decision being made. That is why we have used our umbrella of Kunobet, led by Mr. Otunga. Mr. Otunga was there during World Teachers Day, Kericho, and he talked until he sweat, although it was raining. And I hope the Excellency, you were able to hear us. This lady who looks like coming from Taita, also is coming from Western, was there. They came to Kericho, and they were happy because they wanted to see the chair, Council of Governors Education. And because you are their chair, I want to urge you that every time you sit with the governors, may they recognize the union Kunobet. In every, I request the Waheshimiwas here, who are here, in everything you discuss about the education matters, sit with a representative who knows the feelings of a teacher, and there you will have Kunobet rising up, and we shall work together. We shall not oppose, but we shall work together with the county governments. There is a teacher here from Durgana who looks like Longanyapua, and he has traveled far because he's a teacher, and I want to say, may God bless you. Your Excellency, the Governor, I only have one request to make. These are very few teachers. The MCAs, the honorables who are here, when they were coming here, I believe they were given good forges. They were spending they can eat anywhere in these good hotels and per diem, and you know. But these teachers, we were hustling, and we have really struggled to be here. And I request the Waheshimiwa who are here, together with our Excellency, make sure when these teachers are going outside, we are very few, how many are we? Are 11. Make sure we only get something for lunch and for Christmas. Yes. Waheshimiwas who are here, kindly remember us. Your Excellency, put a rubber stamp on that when you'll come to the mic right now. Thank you, and God bless you so much. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Robert, you have been told when you are having that meeting in Kericho, if you don't call me, utawekwa kiboko. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to allow His Excellency to give a few comments on your questions. Karibu, Mheshimiwa.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much once again. I choose not to respond to the last speaker because I'm conflicted. That's my brother who comes after me. So I'm conflicted and I'll choose not to respond to that one. I'll only respond on the request for money, and I'll give out, say how many, there are 11 teachers. So I'll give out 30,000 for them so that we can go back home. The rest of the questions are, I'm conflicted. All right. So thank you so much. Just to pick from where I had left earlier, we've equally impressed upon the national government. Before FTCs happened, before they were devolved to us, there used to be 2 billion Kenya shillings that were ring-fenced for FTCs. When they came to the county government, the same money was taken back to national government. We have again written on behalf of the Summit of Council to the State Department that next year they release the 2 billion, which is meant for FTCs, to the county governments and be ring-fenced for the purpose of payment of FTC trainers. That's what I've done already, and I'm waiting for their response. On that same note, we've talked about uniformity. From CIA, you talk about the schemes of service. And I would want to state categorically that we have noted as council that we demoralize our teachers if we don't have a uniform standard of payment. If this county is paying this much and the other county is paying that much, the teacher working in this county, because there's always exchange of information, will feel demoralized and unwanted. And that is why we have impressed upon council in the last meeting that we had last week, the full summit, that from next year we begin to harmonize the payment of our CECD teachers across the county. My word of encouragement to the ECDE teachers in other counties, even Kericho, we are not fully implemented, just like so many other counties. But the new governors that are in place now, and even those who came in for their second term, we've reached an agreement with them to be able to implement the schemes of services appropriately in their counties so that we have uniform payment across the county. Mheshimiwa Cheriadbet has mentioned something very key, which is standardization of recruitment. Before I even respond to that, I'm aware that we have had rock public services in most of our counties. It is embarrassing that a teacher, an ECDE teacher, earning 10,000 or no money at all, is asked to pay 250,000 for an employment. The problem in devolved units is that we inherited the rampant corruption that was in the national government. We had imagined in the constitution, when Ngugi wa Thiong'o wrote an article titled Moving the Center, His thoughts were that we are moving away from Nairobi to the villages. And the argument behind devolution was that I would not be able to steal the clerk here because she's my neighbor from home. And then I would be able to think about her as my sister. Unfortunately, we devolve almost all the ills that had been devolved the national government. However, we have impressed upon the public service boards, and in Kericho, personally, I have impressed upon the public service boards that in every element of recruitment, never ask for a coin. Let the people who qualifies be given a job. I know of some 2 or 3 CEOs that I gave them a job and they were crying in my office yesterday. They approached their spouses to be witnesses because the spouses had never believed that you can be employed in the county government if you don't give out money. And so they brought their wives and children to witness that it is true they are CEO, they are the CEOs. Because I didn't even know them in person. But you just look into their competence and you pick them because of their competence. We are saying counties can do better if we are able to go for merit, if we are able to go for professionalism. And so we are streamlining our county public service boards. This is a message I'll also take to my, we have not discussed this in the council, but I'll also report this in our next full council meeting, that I've met you and these were the responses that some counties, the public service boards are demanding for this money. I know that we have new governors. For example, in the governor of Homa Bay, Wanga is a fantastic girl. And I know for a fact that if that was happening in the past, it will not happen in the witness of Wanga. I know Nyamira, my good friend Simbarati, in Kisi Simbarati. If that was happening in the past with Simbarati, you will not allow that to happen. And then again, ladies and gentlemen, remember devolution has been a work in progress. We've had the first cohort of governors, which was even worse. They were employing their brothers and sisters. Look, this guy I have not been able to employ. I want to confess he was going to the public service for an interview. For a word, I think. I only learned that he wasn't doing an interview after around 3 days. When my boss mentioned that, oh, I hope Peter got a job. I never called the public service board. I've never called them and I'll never call them. If he qualifies, he qualifies. If he's not qualified, he doesn't qualify. You go home and hustle, just like any other Kenyan. We are moving this country to a level that you don't need to know anybody to be employed. Because if we will employ, Clark here used to be the one fundraising for me in the evening and say, we shika ikidoko. I could tell you I'd bet mheshimiwa here, wewe kuna hiyo harambee kwako, my friend, tafuta 5,000 pay on my behalf, lakini hiyo tutalipa baadaye. What I'm just trying to say, we want to give a chance to those people also who are competent. And I can tell you today, if we give chance to competence and professionalism, our counties will move forward. And we must streamline our public service. But I know there are crooks and the missing link of devolution. Because they are protected by the law, they employ their cousins. And I'll tell the governors a secret. For the Rock Public Service Board, I'll give the governor's colleague a secret. Just go to the MCA, get a very brilliant MCA, look for 4 or 5 relatives they have employed there, create a petition in the assembly, recommend that these people are not fit for the service, then we suspend them, they go home. I mean, we cannot allow our people to be frustrated because of a rock system. And so we will streamline on that one. I apologize on behalf of governors for those who have been asked for 250,000 shillings. I feel for you, and I apologize on behalf of our many governors. And I'll be able to raise the same there. In Wajir, we've mentioned about the ASAL areas and the challenges they are going in education in the ASAL areas. And I know for a fact that much as we are saying we are struggling with payment, there are people who are struggling for food, not even the payment. And we are saying that we partner closely with the national government to be able to keep support system to education in ASAL areas and be able to also have government give another special conditional grant to assist on matters education in ASAL areas. I'm very happy to report that there are so many working partners that are beginning to work and support the ASAL communities. I mean the drought, the feminine areas affected by war and drought, to be able to be back on their feet. And it is a discussion we're having at the council, and we are partners closely with the national government and other partners on education. I can sacrifice one partner, and we have agreed that we can sacrifice even World Bank and other partners to do more work in those areas, so that we're able to also guard our brothers and sisters and allow that child the right to education. On the question of bursary, I have said that law is law. You know, I know in Africa, I know basically in Africa we play populist politics. Our Mheshimiwa in Kericho will tell you sometimes I make very hard decisions that are not very popular. Now pick a vita for 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. But after the 6th week, people appreciate what we are doing. When I began the war against mechanization in Kericho, because I told the white man, you have carried them on the back for a very long time. The president yesterday was telling me, I have your back. You see, it began like something people couldn't imagine. But when we went to the mathematics, and I'm very happy that already from good officers, they have written to them, where I began the war. And now I have asked a question that where are the leases of these farms? Because the land belongs to us, the people of Kericho and Bomet, but we don't have the lease. We don't have the tap. So is that farm yours? If somebody wakes up in the morning and changes the title deed to belong to that person, what will you do? And it's the demands we have written. So I'm telling you, sometimes you begin a very unpopular cause, but sometimes it bears fruit at the end of the day. However, as a politician, you balance between your political survival and the people that have been told that they need to have bursary. My proposal, this is what we are going to do in Kericho, for example. We will give bursary to secondary school students. But if we have been giving 1,000 children bursary, and we have been giving them 1,500 each of them, my proposal is you can reduce the number of beneficiaries to around 300 or 200 and go for the real vulnerable homes. Pick an orphan, pick that child from a widow, pick that child from a single mother, the known vulnerable families. Now when usimama mheshimiwa useme we used to give out 1,500, lakini pasari ya kusaidia wanyonge ni ya kusaidia wanyonge. Na mimi leo kama mheshimiwa wenyu ninapeana 10,000 Kenya shillings to 350 vulnerable homes. My brother, that is 3.5 million. If that word was given 5 million, you will have saved 1.5 million for the VTC. Siasa ni kuchipanga. Because you know very well this is what is supposed to be done. But Mheshimiwa is very right in the sense that if today you go home, na utangaze kama Mheshimiwa hakuna basari ya secondary school, they will sign the forms of impeaching you the following day. So gradually, we just back. Because at the heart of the Constitution, bursary is not the function of county governments. Why we are even struggling in paying ECDE teachers is because we never understood the principle of the Constitution very well. If we would have understood the principle of the Constitution very well, we could not be struggling to pay ECDE teachers. We could not be struggling to manage VTCs. Because we have taken the work that belongs to national government and we have taken it to the county governments. And now, because we are there, we just try as much as possible to manage it well. Over time, it will work out itself. On the matter of unions recognition, I come from this school of thought that everybody is entitled to belong to a trade union. Trade unions across the world. The reason why today we have women seated here is as a result of great activism movements of gender and feminist movement in the United States of America. The age of Alice and Walker, the rest of Toni Morrison and the rest, it was an age where women were victims of double tragedy, of sexual abuse by the slave master and labor abuse by the slave master. It took the unions to liberate the women. It took the unions to recognize that women, when they are expecting a baby, you don't sack them from work. Because there was an age that when a woman is expecting a child, you sack that woman from work and go home. It took the union to provide paternity leaves. It took the unions to provide paternity leaves. It took the unions and great thinkers to allow the black Americans to participate in universal suffrage or voting. These unions that we have, including this one for the ECDE, I tell you, I rally my colleagues in the council that we recognize the unions. Why should you be, unless you are a sorcerer or a witch, why should you be afraid of a union? It's even better when you have unions because you can engage with a group of people in a very structured way. Tell them don't go for strike, this is what we are doing, and be able to communicate with the rest. with the rest. So for me, I will impress upon the council that we begin to register and but again, we need to move away from these bad manners of this country where we kill unions. One of my infamous personality in this country is one Nancy Macharia. My infamous, and I don't shy to say this anytime. What Nancy and her team did was to demasculate unions. They made sure that they killed NAT by denying those members of NAT allowances and promotion money, and say that only when you are in Quebec is when we can give you money. So teachers from NAT had to resign from the union so that they are given what rightfully belongs to them. It is the most bastardized and stupid way of handling people. And Africa must rise up from this nonsense. Must rise up from this nonsense. Where we take a teacher like just any other person. A teacher is a respected person. So we cannot coerce and intimidate a teacher. NAT is dying. I can tell you. NAT is dying. The officials go for 8 years without any money, without salary. Their offices have closed down because of government frustration, the previous government frustration. And we couldn't be where today here as teachers if not for that NAT, who fought strongly for those teachers. And if not for that Quebec that fought for those teachers. And we are saying we must be able, and I'm very happy for my president, that is one person who respects the rule of democracy. It's for that reason that we are even creating an office for opposition leader, which will be funded by government.